Do you know how the microwave oven was invented? Secret government experience. As it was many times during history, not all experiments go as intended. Perhaps this is why it's called an experiment. Nowadays, it's hard to keep something a secret when cameras and different recording devices are everywhere. But imagine how it was 60-70 years ago. You can test any technology and no one wouldn't notice. Fun fact, during the history there were several thousand atomic bombs test detonations, but no one noticed. In Pacific Drive you'll discover such a secret. Through this immersive, thrilling and beautiful deep adventure you will find an answer to very important questions. When and what happened inside the locked zone? What anomalies will you encounter and what was the source of this tragedy? Grab a snack, let's roll! As it sometimes happens, tragedies begin with intentions of prosperity and common good. In 1955, the government decided to create a secure area and named it Olympic Exclusion Zone in Peninsula. For 30 years everything was going smoothly, but all of a sudden they decided to withdraw and sealed every access point. What happened inside was never disclosed. It's only natural that such events and places attract all kinds of journalists, scientists and just curious people. Of course, we were one of those. How come that you end up in a closed security zone behind the 300-meter tall wall? Did you know that couriers can go in every place? Let me tell you a short real story from my life. Many years ago I was delivering pizzas. Once there was an order for delivery to a military base. Yes, I mean the actual military base. When I approached the entrance, they didn't know for whom it was. So they just told me to go inside and search, and even didn't ask for documents. In the case of Pacific Drive, it's kinda similar. Someone ordered some delivery with instructions to knock on the door, unload and leave. You wish it would be so easy. Someone had to make that order, but when you're doing this from an old closed area from behind a huge wall, probably you have some motives for this. Intentionally or not, the zone gets you. Your car is trashed and you're in the middle of the radiation puddle. The journey starts here. It's not a co-op or online game, but this doesn't mean that you'll be alone. Sure, it would be nearly impossible to survive in such a hostile environment without help. Your first and best friend will be the car, but I will tell you everything about it a bit later. Now I want to focus on other characters, and those are brilliant scientists that worked for the government in the zone. OP stands for Dr. Ophelia Turner, Tobias and Francis. Each of them have their own rich story to tell, their own views and methods. But as a team, they make things work perfectly. They will guide you around the zone and help you a lot to research new technologies for your car. This will be a life-saving actually. Oppie may seem kinda rude and strict person, but as the story develops, you'll be able to understand her. I promise, this is a very touching story. Tobias and Francis are best friends, but I have suspicion that maybe even more than that. Anyways, without this trio you wouldn't last long in the zone, so pays close attention what they say. As your home and base, you'll find an old workshop, which used to be Oppie's lab once. So this is not just some old garage. Here you will find fascinating technologies. Moreover, you'll be able to craft a lot of experimental devices. And when it comes to the craft, oh boy, it's extensive. I'll get to it in a moment. So as usual, you'll find a workbench, a place to diagnose and repair the car, and a research center where you will be able to create new items and spaces for the workshop. And it's not just some new workstations or whatever. No, I mean that you will be able to add even lockers and decorative items. So yes, treat this place as your new home. Another very important object that will be very helpful is a friendly dumpster. Yes, you heard it right. Huge trash container, but it's a blessing. You see, not all anomalies want to hurt you. I will tell you about them a bit later. This dumpster will provide you with materials, ready components or car detailing parts when you need this the most. Don't worry, Oppie will be reminding you to check it periodically so you won't need to do a new run into the zone to find some small missing part for the new craft. Let's continue with the crafting. It's a massive part of the game. What would our life be without technologies, yes? So the game is a true master here. Starting from common parts like headlights or components like light bulb, metal sheets to more advanced ones like carbon fiber or microchips, and complicated parts and upgrades for the car. And of course, you'll be able to swap an engine. That would be a big mistake to make the game about the car and not give an option to do this. But crafting is not just about grinding materials and just craft proper parts. Here it's much more. First, you'll need to research a blueprint for a specific part, upgrade, tool, technology, etc. Along with this, remember that you have a very limited space on your car, so you will need to build racks for it. Also, the workshop itself is not an endless warehouse. As with the PC building process, the cable management is very important, so as here, think what to place where. Yes, you will be able to increase trunk capacity in the car, add additional storage on the roof or sides, but then you won't have a place for very cool and useful car skills. So choose wisely and plan your route ahead. I could list all of the items that you can create here, but that would be a separate video dedicated only to this topic. So I'll leave that for you to explore all the options. The better equipment, the better safety of the car. And this will allow you to explore more and more areas of the zone. You have a huge map to discover. And you have a variety of options. Free roads, forests, mountains, swamps, and even developed areas where government was doing its job. The more far you go, the harder it is to get to the point. The weather is changing constantly, and when it's night, you can't see shit without good lights. Trust me, I learned this in a hard way by falling off the cliff. Along your road, there will be challenges, but also helping things. The zone is divided into 3 parts. Of course, the closer you are to the center, the more challenging it gets. But also, rewards are better. More rare resources or parts, and this is very important here. Also, not everything wants to kill you, and you can also use things that do want to kill you. For example, in different places you'll find healing and charging stations for the car, wonders of technology. Or you can use different types of bunnies. Yes, those small rolling anomalies of different colors and physical properties, such as electric bunny, which can charge up the battery but damages the car a bit. Opie will be helping you to discover new routes and get into the next zone. Views will change radically, but in a good way. Developers achieved a very good immersive experience in Pacific Drive. All maps are either colorful or dark, calm or stormy, but all of this is really exciting. Sometimes I could randomly find breathtaking views of the nature or just deeply satisfying calming places. In combination with the sound and overall atmosphere of the game, I can call it a masterpiece. One time you're enjoying a peaceful and calm driving, and the next minute you're in the middle of the storm avoiding anomalies and trying to escape radiation. Or you can be in some house or station looting for resources and all of a sudden you feel something with your butt. Wait, let me explain. There are tourists, kind of anomalies. It's people-shaped statues that appear from nowhere and change places when you're not looking at them. And this is fascinating. Along with other science and physics things that are happening there, this one is my favorite. It refers to the observer effect in quantum physics. You can Google it. Shortly, it makes doubt the reality. Depending on if we're looking at something or not, it may exist or not, behave in one way or another. But okay, let's not turn this into a physics lecture, even though the game is quite scientific. There are lots of other anomalies. For example, left-right. This one is kinda funny. Inverses your steering and messes with electronics a bit. All thought, it may be dangerous as it may randomly accelerate your car, and if you have a powerful engine, you can end up in the tree. Still, this is one of the most harmless anomalies. Of course, radiation is your worst enemy, but between them there are dozens of others. While discovering different nodes and scanning those anomalies, you will get full stories and research reports with specifications for each of them. As I mentioned before, not all of them are bad. The best you can find is a green heart. It heals the car when you're nearby. Another interesting thing is that you can destroy or scrap some anomalies to get components or resources. So yes, you'll learn a lot of new stuff while playing. Another thing that you'll learn is the basics of mechanics. So I've left the best part for the dessert. Let's now focus on our cherry on the pie. Of course, I mean the remnant, the car. It's not just the car, you see, it chose you. Honestly, I didn't quite understand that either, but I hope you'll do better than me. From my side, let me tell you about all other aspects of owning that car. First of all, regular maintenance. Thank God you won't need to clean and wash it. I'm glad the developers cut the most annoying and boring part. Still, you'll need to tank it, paint it, decorate, and of course repair. When it comes to repairs, you have several options as well. Just change the damaged part with the new one, but then you'll need to craft that replacement and then paint it or wrap again. Also, you could repair, and again, you have different tools for this. Not only will your car be damaged after each ride, anomalies will cause a lot more trouble than that. Not every time, but still. And here I mean quirks. For example, wipers can cause driver doors to open randomly. Lights can cause radio volume change, or steering wheel will affect headlights. So you'll need first to diagnose the issue and then have proper equipment to fix that. For me, it's a very interesting challenge. Sure, you can research and craft additional upgrades for the station to help you with that, but I wasn't doing this. Yeah, I'm good with cars too. As with every expedition, the car has to be properly prepared for a run. Make sure to have enough batteries, tools or spare parts. Flat tire is much more common than you'd expect. And don't expect to go out of the zone with not damaged car. You can also protect the car from different anomalies, make it more resistant to the impact, electricity or radiation. Even get some special abilities to fight off anomalies. You can inspect all of the options yourself. Depending on the destination point, you'll need to have proper tires, as weather and surface directly impact on driving. Yes, pay close attention to your speed while it's raining. Last but not least, keep an eye on the gas level. So far, for me, it's the best survival game that was released in the current year. First, I was really skeptical about it and doubted that it would be a good game. But I changed my mind really fast. At first, it appears to be too complicated with all those menus, tabs, craft options, multiple types of resources, materials and components. Actually, you learn everything quickly and then just enjoy the ride. So, if you're looking for a deep, immersive, interesting, but with that intense and story-rich survival with crafting and base building elements, this is your sign. I hope you liked this expedition. If you have anything to add, feel free to write in the comments below. Thanks for everyone who stayed until this point. See you soon!